Here is the vocabulary for lesson 4.8. We are continuing to learn signs for family. These are family signs that are a little more extended family. So the first sign is grandfather. So if you remember the sign for dad or father, it starts that way, but then it comes out. Grandfather. Grandmother is the same, only with the female gender area. So you start with mother, and then you come out a little bit. Grandmother. Grandparents would just be the combination. Grandmother and grandfather. Now, the way that you spell grandchildren is a little bit different. You actually have to finger spell the grand part, and then you add in the rest. So grandchildren would be granddaughter would be grandson. And then to do in-laws of any kind, brother-in-law, cousin-in-law, mother-in-law, you start with the person that you're talking about. So let's say mother-in-law, you'd start with mother, and then you follow it up with a sign for law. So on your non-dominant hand, you want a flat hand shape. The palm is kind of sideways. You want an L on your dominant hand, and you'll put so the L turns, so you're pointing out. I have seen people do it this way too, but anyway, so put your palms together and you hit at your fingers and you hit at your palm. So that's law. So if I were going to say mother-in-law, I would sign aunt and uncle. So for aunt or aunt, you want an A hand shape near that female part. And there's two different movements you can do. You can do little circles, or you can do back and forth. Same with uncle, only a different hand shape, a U. So you can do little circles, or so aunt or aunt and uncle. Cousin, in English is just one word. We don't specify a male cousin versus a female cousin in English, but a lot of languages do. Like there are just two different words for cousin in Spanish and in French. ASL is one of those. There are two different signs. So if you have a female cousin, it's a C hand shape, and you can either do the back and forth or little circles. Male cousin, back and forth or little circles. There is a sign for a non-gender specific cousin or little circles. It's not really up here. It's not really here. It's just kind of in the middle. All right. The next sign is the sign for gone or deceased. Now, because the sign also means gone, like it is disappeared, we ran out of it kind of a thing. There is no more type of idea. You have to be careful to think, does that mean just there aren't any, or deceased, right? So anyway, all right, so the gone or deceased sign is sort of an open C, open O, maybe we'll call it. So it's not closed, there's a little room for it. So do you remember the sign for both? It's the same idea, only you're using your whole hand. It's gone. It's gone. You could say like the dog is gone. Don't know where he went, kind of a thing. Or it could also mean deceased. So you have to be specific. Dead is another way of being more specific. So you're going to start with both hands with a flat hand shape. You want one palm up and one palm down. I don't think it really matters which one, because your hands do the same thing. They're going to do the same movement. There's not a dominant hand here. All right, so one palm up, one palm down, and then you just turn both of them. So the one that had the palm up now becomes down, and the one that had the palm down now becomes up. And that's dead or, passed away. The sign for widowed is simply the sign for me alone. So if you remember alone or I live alone, that's the same as the sign for widowed. So if you say, are you married? The next one, last one is all together, which is the same as sign for total. So you open both hands like fives, but your thumbs are kind of sideways a little bit. And you bring them together from back to front until they squish together, okay? Total or all together. So I could say something like, I have 5 female cousins and I have 10 male cousins, and then altogether I have 15. All right, that is lesson 4A vocabulary.